Join us as we delve into the dark and dramatic history of the world's most brutal deaths of leaders. From the political intrigue of ancient Rome to the tumultuous revolutions of the 20th century, each story is a gripping testament to the ruthless nature of power. Stay with us as we count down from 10 to 1, revealing the shocking details of these pivotal moments in history. Brace yourself for a journey through the annals of time, where the fates of nations were decided by the actions of a few. Without further ado, we have at number 10, Yitzhak Rabin. Rabin, born in Jerusalem to Jewish immigrants from Eastern Europe, had a distinguished 27-year military career, rising to the rank of Rav Aluf, Lieutenant General. After serving as Israel's ambassador to the United States from 1968 to 1973, he became Prime Minister in 1974 following Golda Meir's resignation. Re-elected in 1992, Rabin pursued Israeli-Palestinian peace, culminating in historic agreements under the Oslo Accord. He shared the 1994 Nobel Peace Prize with Shimon Peres and Yasser Arafat, his former political rival. He was assassinated in November 1995 by a right-wing Israeli radical who opposed Rabin's peace efforts with the Palestinians. Rabin was shot at a peace rally in Tel Aviv. Number 9, Olof Palme. Sven Olof Joachim Palme was born on January 30th, 1927, into an affluent conservative Lutheran family in Stockholm's Östermalm district. He was a Swedish politician and statesman who served as prime minister from 1969 to 1976 and again from 1982 to 1986. His assassination on a Stockholm street in 1986, while walking home from a movie with his wife, shocked the nation and sparked extensive investigations and speculation. The initial conviction of Christer Pettersson, a local criminal and drug addict, was later overturned, deepening the mystery. Swedish prosecutors 2020 announcement pointing to Stig Engström, known as the Skandia Man, as the likely killer, added a new twist to the unsolved case. Engström, present at the crime scene and previously questioned by authorities, reignited interest in the assassination, underscoring the challenges of solving historical crimes. Now at number 8, Patrice Lumumba. Patrice Lumumba was born on July 2nd, 1925, as Isai Tasumbu Tawosa to Julien Wamato Lomenja and Francois Tolenga Otechima, a farmer in Onalua in the Katakokombe region of the Kasai province of the Belgian Congo. In 1952, he was employed as a personal assistant for French sociologist Pierre Clément, who was conducting a study in Stanleyville. Between 1956 and 1957, Lumumba penned his autobiography, published posthumously in 1962. Following a study trip to Belgium in 1956, he was arrested on charges of embezzling $2,500 from the post office. Lumumba was convicted and sentenced a year later to 12 months imprisonment and a fine. The first prime minister of the Republic of the Congo, now the Democratic Republic of the Congo, was executed in January 1961 after being overthrown in a coup. Lumumba was tortured before being shot by a firing squad. And at the number 7, Mahatma Gandhi. From October 2nd, 1869 to January 30, 1948, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, an Indian lawyer, anti-colonial nationalist, and political ethicist, employed nonviolent resistance to lead the successful campaign for India's independence from British rule. He inspired civil rights and freedom movements worldwide. The honorific Mahatma, meaning great-souled, venerable in Sanskrit, first bestowed upon him in South Africa in 1914, is now used globally. Gandhi's vision of an independent India based on religious pluralism faced a challenge in the early 1940s from Muslim nationalism, which sought a separate homeland for Muslims within British India. In August 1947, Britain granted independence, but the British Indian Empire was divided into two dominions, a Hindu-majority India and a Muslim-majority Pakistan. The leader of the Indian independence movement was assassinated in January 1948 by Nathuram Godse, a Hindu nationalist who disagreed with Gandhi's tolerant views towards Muslims. Gandhi was shot multiple times at close range. Right at the number 6, Tsar Nicholas II, Nikolai Alexandrovich Romanov, also known as Nikolai II, reigned as the last emperor of Russia, King of Poland, and Grand Duke of Finland from November 1st, 1894, until his abdication on March 15, 1917. He signed the Anglo-Russian Convention of 1907, aimed at countering Germany's efforts to expand influence in the Middle East, effectively ending the great game of rivalry between between Russia and the British Empire. During the July crisis, Nicholas supported Serbia and authorized the mobilization of the Russian army on July 30th, 1914. In response, Germany declared war on Russia on August 1st and on its ally France on August 3rd, marking the start of World War I. The last emperor of Russia, along with his family, was executed by Bolshevik revolutionaries in July 1918. The family was shot and bayoneted, and their bodies were mutilated and disposed of in a remote location. At number 5, Jang Song-thaek. Jang Song-thaek, born between January and February 1946, was a North Korean politician. He was married to Kim Kyung-hui, the only daughter of North Korean Premier Kim Il-sung and his first wife, Kim Jong-suk, making him the brother-in-law of North Korean General Secretary Kim Jong-il and the uncle, by marriage, of the current North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. In December 2013, Jong was suddenly accused of being a counter-revolutionary, leading to the stripping of all his posts and expulsion from the Workers' Party of Korea, WPK. His photos were removed from official media, and his image was digitally erased from photos with other North Korean leaders. On December 13th, North Korean state media announced his execution by firing squad. In the fourth position, Nicolae Ceausescu, born in 1918 in Scornicesti. Ceausescu was a member of the Romanian Communist Youth Movement. He was arrested in 1939 for conspiracy against social order and spent the war years in various prisons and internment camps, including Gileva 1940, Caransebeș 1942, Vacaresti 1943, and Târgu Jiu 1943. Ceausescu advanced through the ranks of Gheorghiu Dege's socialist government, and following Gheorghiu Dege's death in 1965, he assumed leadership of the Romanian Communist Party as General Secretary. The Romanian Communist leader's execution in December 1989, following a revolution, shocked the world. After a hasty trial, Ceausescu and his wife, Elena, were executed by firing squad on Christmas Day, signaling the end of his oppressive regime. Number 3, Benito Mussolini, Benito Amilcare. Andrea Mussolini was born on 29 July 1883 in Dovia di Predappio, a small town in the province of Forlì in Romagna. He was an Italian dictator who founded and led the National Fascist Party, PNF. He was Prime Minister of Italy from the March on Rome in 1922 until his deposition in 1943, as well as Duce of Italian fascism from the establishment of the Italian Fasces of Combat in 1919 until his summary execution in 1945 by Italian partisans. As dictator of Italy and principal founder of fascism, Mussolini inspired and supported the international spread of fascist movements during the interwar period. The Italian fascist dictator's capture and execution in April 1945 by Italian partisans marked the end of his brutal regime. Mussolini and his mistress, Clara Sahatchi, were executed by firing squad, and their bodies were publicly displayed, underscoring the brutality of his rule. At number 2, Muammar Gaddafi. Muammar Mohammed Abu Minyar al-Gaddafi, born on June 7, 1942, near Sirte, Italian Libya, into a poor Bedouin Arab family, became an Arab nationalist while attending school in Sabha. He later enrolled in the Royal Military Academy in Benghazi. In 1977, Gaddafi transformed Libya into a new socialist state called a Jamahiriya, meaning state of the masses. While he officially assumed a symbolic role in governance, he retained control over the military and the revolutionary committees, which were responsible for policing and suppressing dissent. A highly controversial figure, Gaddafi dominated Libyan politics for 4 decades and was the focus of an extensive cult of personality. He received numerous awards and was praised for his anti-imperialist stance, support for Arab and later African unity, and for the significant development of the country following the discovery of oil reserves. The former Libyan leaders Captura and Dith in October 2011 during the Libyan Civil War were captured in gruesome detail. Gaddafi was beaten and shot, and videos of his final moments circulated widely, showcasing the brutality of his downfall. And number 1, Julius Caesar. Gaius Julius Caesar, born on July 12, 100 BC, and assassinated on March 15, 44 BC, was a Roman general and statesman. As a member of the First Triumvirate, Caesar led the Roman armies in the Gallic Wars. He later defeated his political rival Pompey Pompey in a civil war and subsequently served as dictator from 49 BC until his assassination. Caesar played a pivotal role in the events leading to the downfall of the Roman Republic and the emergence of the Roman Empire. In 60 BC, Caesar, along with Crassus and Pompey, formed the first triumvirate, an informal political alliance that dominated Roman politics for several years. Their efforts to consolidate political power faced opposition from many in the Senate, including Cato the Younger, with the clandestine support of Cicero. The Roman dictator's assassination on the Ides of March, March 1544 BC, shocked the ancient world. Stabbed 23 times by a group of Roman senators, including Brutus and Cassius, Caesar's death marked a turning point in Roman history and the end of the Roman Republic. These leaders' deaths serve as reminders of the dangers and complexities of leadership, often fraught with political turmoil and personal risk.